Hi everyone, I would like to show you that today is kind of a cloudy day. The forecast says it's going to be a light sprinkle and tomorrow will be a light sprinkle, but then it changes and says that it will be showers tomorrow. So we shall see. I've already prepared all my rainwater catchment systems to catch the water, and so today is a little bit on rainwater catchment, on permaculture. I would like to discuss with you that a permaculture garden looks like this. It is full of things. It is mishmash of vegetables, fruit, squashes. It is full of herbs, flowering plants, cardboard, lots and lots of sunflowers. There's a squash growing way over there. So I actually cut off this seed head because I wanted to save it because it had a beautiful large flowering head for the sunflower. So, and I want to try to encourage that growth more than the others. So it's kind of a mess over there, and in that shady area is where I placed the plumeria so they wouldn't burn when they start off. I haven't been watering it very much, and we're forecasted for light rain. And here are some new friends that have come to join us. It had been growing, and I may have been guilty of pulling out some of the weeds or pulling out some of the new babies because its leaves are scraggly, almost like dandelion leaves. And all of a sudden it kind of grew, and I knew I put seeds for wildflowers there, and there they are, poppies galore. This is a new one here because yesterday we only had 3 blooms and the day before we only had 2 blooms. And I'm letting this go wild, and I see there are some insects that are in there amongst the flowers. Maybe they were sleeping in there. So today I wanted to discuss with you that a permaculture garden is not going to always be as clean and as beautiful as a regular traditional garden. It's not going to be as neat or organized or impeccable. It's not going to be looking like a neatly manicured lawn with topiaries and shapen shrubs. A permaculture garden is about efficiently growing things, and each object or each thing in the system is going to have multiple functions. It's about stacking functions, and then each object has to have multiple, so each item has multiple functions, and there are many items that perform multiple functions. So in a permaculture garden, it is not going to be full of beautiful things and it's going to be a mess, like these tangled up mulberry canes with these tangled in between, growing out of control, which is a good thing, passion fruit. And some things offer nutrition and offer beauty for pollen. So examples of stack functions. I have my fellow chickens over here, and they lay eggs for me. They provide protein if need be. If we want to, we haven't done this. We haven't done that at all, being that they're our first set of chickens. They dig up and loosen dirt. They eat pests. They eat scraps from the kitchen, food scraps, and they provide manure, and they're cute little pets that have their little quirks. And they dig up the garden, looking around for pests. And then you saw in my video yesterday regarding the applying permaculture principles as it pertains to plants that don't often feed in the garden, that don't offer food in the garden. Often plants that we can forgo, that plants that offer aesthetics, the bougainvillea, the lemon branches, the rose branches, squash leaves when they're out of season, tomato leaves, they just can be chopped and dropped, or they can be thrown in a compost pile, and it's a renewable resource. And you can look at that video and read the descriptions. Oftentimes my descriptions are better than my video explanations because I don't speak well. I stumble on things, I forget what I'm about to say, partially because I'm nervous, but I offer supplemental info about things in the descriptions. So, and I'm a lot better at my writing as the ideas flow better. And so I wanted to talk about sunflowers. Sunflowers offer stacking functions as well. So they provide humans, chickens, birds, insects with food, nectar, pollen, seeds, which can be protein and vitamins and minerals. The leaves are edible. Once it's spent, the canes can be used to prop up things as a support, as a stake. Their seeds are abundant in fat, protein, and minerals, and they're a great source for pollinators, and they greatly increase pollination because each individual it's an aggregate of flowers within one flower. So it increases pollination, thereby increasing pollination in the garden, which increases food production. So I place them randomly everywhere. I just throw the seeds into the ground here and there, knowing that they're going to bloom at different times because I get different varieties. And the more sunlight they get, the bigger they grow and taller. and the less sunlight, if they're shaded in by something else, they won't grow as tall, but it's fine. I like them at different levels and just looking wild. And so permaculture gardens are about not being wasteful, and that is one of the reasons why it's never going to be as clean looking as a traditional garden. The concepts of permaculture are to produce no waste, so gardeners must rethink the use of items in order to upcycle. They have to reduce waste, reuse items, and recycle items, and repair items. You can use a piece of plastic as a tarp, or you can start with a bag and use it to rebag other items, or you can use the plastic as a tarp, or you can use it as a trash bag. I personally use a lot of the grocery bags, again, as trash bags, and they fit perfectly in my little trash cans. And these soil bags, I use them all the time. I open them up and I cut them open, and I'll use them to, in this case, I'm tarping up the door of the chicken coop, so that, because it's primarily wood and I don't want it to be wet too often. So I try to put it up as much as possible when it rains. And then other times, other bags I would throw into the coop as a bottom layer. I layer, after I clean out the coop and pull out all the, after I pull out all of the chicken coop, like the hay, the straw, and things like that, then, and paper, I've been using shredded paper. It just cuts down on the costs of constantly buying the shredded wood chips and hay and straw for their coop. But once I pull all that stuff out and clean it out, then I put a new layer of that plastic down, and then I place some newspapers or cardboard. Then I'll put the layer of straw and paper and some sweet PDZ, and it smells great, and it lasts them several weeks before the next changing of the coop contents. So it helps me out quite a bit on saving money. So at the same time that cardboard is used for my paths, I also use them to sometimes cover up the chicken coop, the rabbit coop pen. So I have it there blocking the area, because inside they have a little box as their home where they sleep, and I like that extra dry, so I cover it with that extra cardboard. It's ugly, it's not beautiful, but then I pull it down as soon as the rains are gone. And I just use, it has many functions. Sometimes I'll use the cardboard boxes from the Amazon, or from the stores, from milk products or whatever, from the milk jugs, and I'll just fill it with my lemons over there, and I'll bring it to work. Or little bags from hamburger buns, I'll just place the lemons in there and bring them to work to give away, or to my siblings, or to my family, to my parents, and I share. So permaculture is about fair sharing, people caring. It's about caring about the earth, Gaia, and it is about it's about regeneration and using renewable resources. And so when you have concepts like that where you reuse things and you create redundancy in things, and you have to increase production of things, save things, reuse things, recycle, upcycle, it is definitely going to create a system that doesn't look the best. Sorry about that helicopter. I think I'm going to end my video here. We'll talk more about it as it's getting a little sprinkly here.